Welcome back to Singer Dad Reacts, and a special welcome to all of you Pentaholics out there. So, it's been a while since I did a Pentatonix reaction, and I see that they've been releasing some new songs, and I really wanted to take a look at this one, A Mad World. It's really a cool song. I remember the original song. I'm kind of dating myself there, but I do remember it. So I wanted to take a look at this. It looks like it's fairly popular. People are liking it. So I thought I'd take a look. So I have the lyrics all up as I'm doing in my videos recently. I think this might be the first Pentatonix where I've actually done this, because before, when I was doing the reactions for them, I wasn't doing the lyrics before the video. So here they are. All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. The tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression. Hide my head, I want to drown my sorrows. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad, that dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world, mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good, happy birthday, happy birthday. And they feel the way that every child should, sit and listen, sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous, no one knew me, no one knew me. Hello teacher, tell me what's my lesson? Look right through me, look right through me. And I find it kind of funny, and I find it kind of sad that dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. It's a repeat of the chorus here. Yeah, so that's it. Just repeats the chorus several times. Dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. If I know it. It almost kind of describes like a person that has had an experience in life where they feel kind of just put in their place, overlooked, and like they don't really like exist. They aren't really noticed and connected with, type thing. Worn out places, worn out faces. And that life is just kind of crazy and hard to keep up with, and yeah, so that's kind of my take. But yeah, with that, I'm going to go ahead and get started here. Again, for those that are new to my channel or that haven't already, if you could please subscribe, click on the notifications. I would greatly appreciate that. I do also have playlists out there on my channel. So I did organize on my channel. I don't know for those of you that are longtime viewers if you noticed it or not, but I have different sections within my channel now. So you can go in there. It'll show you the popular uploads. It shows you the playlists I've created, one of which is the Pentatonix playlist. So if you're looking for Pentatonix reactions on my channel, go to that playlist. But let's get started here.
All around me are familiar faces, worn out places, worn out faces, bright and early for the daily races, going nowhere, going nowhere. Their tears are filling up their glasses, no expression, no expression.
Wow. I kind of had a feeling that they were going to have Scott start it off, but he's bringing a whole different tone to like the way he's approaching the lyric. He's kind of doing like this what's the word I'm looking for? Kind of this pleading tone to it, kind of this, like it's like a surge where it's like there's kind of this angst behind it, right? That kind of causes the tone to and the flow of the words to happen a certain way. It's kind of hard to explain. But then I love how they kind of brought in Matt second, right, to kind of add some lower harmony right away there toward the beginning. And then they layered on Mitch and Kirsty to bring in some of the higher harmonies. They're masters at that, really, if you've watched any of their stuff, as far as musically just texturing it and slowly bringing all of that to life and having that be a part of the feeling, the texture of the song, of the performance. So let me go back a little bit here, make sure I don't miss anything. They sound amazing, of course. No big surprise there with Pentatonix.
Are filling up their glasses. No expression, no expression. Hide my head, I wanna drown my sorrow. No tomorrow, no tomorrow. And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very...
That's the thing that Matt brings a little bit to the group there, as far as like a new dimension. I love Avi. I miss Avi, if I'm being honest, and what he brought to the group. But I have to say, like with Matt, and it kind of, my first experience with it was like Sound of Silence, where he really shined and brought something in a little brighter tone. I'm not going to say a higher register, because Avi could sing fairly high as well, especially if you have a chance to watch Imagine. He sings pretty high in that one. But he has kind of a depth and a darker tone to his, even some of his higher notes, whereas Matt's is more of a lighter sound when he goes higher. So again, it's all about the textures and how it, the effect it has on the overall blend and the feeling of the song. So I love that they gave him a little chance to sing there, and how they brought Mitch in there with Kirsty, and they had something cool going on behind there, where they're doing visually, where they were causing people behind them to kind of, I think it was Kevin, where the picture of that person was kind of stretching with them. And I think part of the reasoning for that was kind of this, it's a mad, mad world, right? So this kind of chaos, crazy, it's all blurred type feeling. And those are the little things that Pentatonix does to add something to their performance. They didn't have to do that. They could just stand up there, all of them side by side, and just sing. But they always try to like do something different to tell the story and add different layers in there to kind of bring that out. So that's cool. Let's see here. I'm going to go back and listen to Matt again. Sorry about that.
And I find it kinda funny, I find it kinda sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very...
Yeah, it's the running in circles thing.
Mad world. Mad world. Children waiting for the day they feel good. Happy birthday, happy birthday. And to feel the way that every
how they did something a little different there with that? Those are the types of little things that Pentatonix throws in, where they kind of change up the melody just enough to kind of make it their own without really having a negative impact on the experience for the listener. Even somebody like myself that's super familiar with the song and has heard it before in its original form. So they're just brilliant. But I love to hear Kevin sing as well. Kevin is amazing. You've probably heard me talk about him before, but I really think a lot of him and his musicality and all that he can do, right? Plays the cello, beatboxing, of course, and an amazing singer. He's just all around amazing. Okay.
To feel the way that every child should sit and listen. Went to school and I was very nervous. No one knew me.
Oh, they had him break off like that. That's cool.
Hello, teacher, tell me what's my lesson. Look right through me. Look right through me.
This is another thing, like they understand visual context very well. So here's Mitch singing a lyric where he's saying, "Look right through me." And what do they have? Front and center on the screen, they've got his eyes and he's looking right at you. And so it's like he's kind of saying with this lyric and positioning it this way, how can someone possibly just look right through me? You know, as a person watching this video, can you look right through me? And the answer is no, because we're fixated on his expression and the feeling he's bringing to the music. And so it's kind of calling to question the story itself and the fact that someone could look right through somebody, right? How can someone do that? Just like you guys are all looking at me, he's saying, how can someone just look right through someone like that? So that's really a cool effect they did there. Go back just a little bit here.
Hello, teacher, tell me what's my lesson.
I love this stuff happening in the back though.
Look right through me. And I find it kind of funny. I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you. I find it hard to take.
Oh, go
when
Christy.
people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad world. Mad world.
Oh yeah, this is cool.
And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world.
Sorry about that. You can tell that they really thought long and hard about how they were going to do this video. Like, in kind of coming back in my mind to the color choices and things like that they chose for their outfits. Usually I don't notice stuff like that as much. But I'm trying to I'm really trying to improve my reaction so that I'm more aware of what the artist is doing, what they're wearing, what, different things that are maybe a little more subtle, that are part of the storytelling aspect of what they're doing and part of the performance that I need to be keying in on and kind of analyzing, right? And part of what I noticed was that they all were wearing darker colors, but then the light was on them to kind of draw out who they were. So it almost seemed like a visual choice where they are focusing in more on their features than on their body or their clothes or anything else, right? So it's drawing attention away from their bodies by having it black, just like what the background is, and drawing you in to the eyes, which play a big part in this with the lyrics, in the connection with who they are, their face, and all of that. So that's just something that I noticed. But yeah, this is powerful. It's an amazing performance here. Let me go back a little bit. And they're really like focusing right in on the. These are some of the closest shots I've seen. I've seen many Pentatonix videos, and these are some of the closest shots I've seen them get. Like they're getting right up on each of the performers. Sorry guys, let me go back to this little part here. And they're singing the melody, Scott's singing something else. They're layering it on.
And I find it kind of funny, I find it kind of sad. The dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had. I find it hard to tell you, I find it hard to take. When people run in circles, it's a very, very mad world. Mad
Wow.
all around me are familiar.
I wonder why they had Matt kind of just back off there at the very end. It's interesting. Because I would have thought he would have held that whoa out a little bit longer with the rest of the group, but he kind of faded quicker than the others. Huh. Yeah, that's... wow. So... the thing with the Pentatonix performances that I've discovered and learned through the course of time in my experiences with watching their videos and everything is I end up having to watch their videos like 10 times or something like that just to be able to pick up all the little nuances and the things that they're throwing in there. So hopefully this is not too long, but I tried to really like dive into what they were doing and the feelings that were coming through and the stylistic choices they were making with the music and how they presented the lyrics. But the things that they were doing at the very end there are very Pentatonix-esque, if that's a word. You know, where they were just like boom, boom, boom. You know, they had like the bringing in of the harmonies. They do things like that all the time. And then there was a part where they like backed off. They sang and then backed off, and then one of the soloists came in. So they do things like that that are just brilliant in the way that the music is sculpted, and it really adds a special something to it. They're just a cut above most anyone else out there with the way that they arrange the music, the way that they present it in the videos, the whole package. And that's part of why I love them so much, because if you've watched me react, I love when they tell a story, when they create that message and the ebbs and flows with the music, right? And that was a prime example with them. There was a lot of like this, and I pointed out at the very beginning, there's a lot of this ebbs and flows as far as the crescendo, decrescendo, right? Where they were coming in and out, and that's to kind of show, I think, the chaos a little bit factor of the world, right? Where it's like in and out, buzzing, the blurring, kind of the distant. Notice notice the likenesses of themselves they had behind them that were blurry and kind of doing things were further away, right? So it's like they're isolated, they're apart, they're distant from us watching it and from them when they're singing it. So little things like that are really cool that they add in there to really bring that more of that essence of the song to it. So another masterpiece. You get spoiled with pentatonics, and I have to kind of remind myself, okay, critique them like, you know, you're early on in your discovery of pentatonics, so I have to kind of try to think that way. But I love them very much. They're amazing. This was an awesome cover that they did here, which is saying a lot because I like the original a lot. I like Tears for Fears and a lot of their songs like Shout and things like that. But I really liked this one, and thank you all for watching. If you haven't, as I mentioned before already, if you could please subscribe, click on the like if you liked my reaction here. I hope all of you are doing well and that you're surviving in this mad world. It is kind of a mad world right now, and so the song's very relevant and timely. But it doesn't mean that we need to allow that chaos and that madness to come into our lives or into our hearts. We can have peace. And a lot of that comes from surrounding ourselves with loved ones and finding ways to get fulfillment in life. And I want to thank each of you for watching, because part of what brings me fulfillment is sharing these moments with you and reacting and learning more about each of you and all of you that are all over the world. And it's been a neat experience. So thank you very much for that, and take care.